Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet, and today I'm back. We're going to do a shop tour of Arnim's shop, but before we get started, I want to show you this catalog. This is a picture of some wooden leaves that has been published on the cover of this catalog, and I even got Arnim here. He's going to show us some of these leaves. Well, thanks, Arnim, for taking the time to give us the shop tour. But why don't you show us a little bit about these leaves before we get into the shop tour?
All right, thanks, Colin. Well, basically what I do is with all the little pieces of leftover you always have in your wood shop, I don't want to throw them away. I want to do something meaningful with that. So from this, I make this.
Wow.
Of course, it takes a huge amount of work, but look at the beauty. I mean, it's amazing the things you can do with that.
Isn't that stunning? That's amazing. And that's what's on the cover of that magazine or that catalog.
And you can see, I mean, there's a maple leaf or some other leaf, but you can see very simple pieces of wood can suddenly be stunningly beautiful, depending what you do with them.
Wow, and are these all carved? They look like they're all carved.
Oh, big time. A lot of work in there, and as you can see, you can even feel it. Like, it's just, they have a really nice texture. Very hard to see in the video, but they really feel very nice. And
it even feels like a leaf.
That's the intent,
a thick leaf. Wow. I see you've got some spalted maple too, or some spalted wood.
Yes, you can see that over here. So like that's what I did with the spalted maple.
Wow. Check that out. Do a close-up of that. Isn't that amazing?
I was doing some experimentation also with plywood. Just like this is a leaf made out of plywood, just to see how something else works.
Yeah.
I guess it's interesting. I'm not sure it's the most beautiful, but it's interesting.
Wow. Plywood, you can see the plies, how you can glue that together and get the plies. Wow. Very cool.
So, yeah, so that's...
And this looks that you've either stained that or
that's
burned
exactly
that?
right, just to see, stain, to see if staining helps. And
yeah.
I think, yes, depending how you hold it, it makes a really nice effect too.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. They're absolutely gorgeous, and congratulations for getting your leaves on the cover of the
It's a big
catalog.
honor, and I'm very glad people can see it and get inspired by that.
Yeah, that's
yes,
great.
absolutely.
Great. Well, let's have a look around your shop now.
Come in, please.
Well, this piece caught my eye right away, and of course this is Arnim's table saw, but I don't know if you can see the outfeed table, but check this out.
Yeah, it's all very simple. I mean, I love to just put things myself together. You every time need something different. So you have an extension table over here. You of course have this moving table over here. You can take it off very simply. You can change the angle of it. You can do lots of things with it. And then of course, very importantly, you can suck up at the same time the dust. So it's all very simple, extremely cheap to do. I mean, these are all leftover products I used to make this.
Yeah.
And this table you can buy separately, and you don't need to buy a very expensive table.
So I've never seen anything like this. Did you make this with some different parts?
You can buy it.
Can you?
You can buy it as an attachment to a table. So
all right.
yes, you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's such an excellent way of doing it. And I look around, I don't see a sliding miter. This is where you do most of your cross cutting then?
That's right, exactly. Yes, I mean I have them, but I don't bother. I just do it this way. And the other thing that I do, although it's for another, I just make all these little jigs that you can just have here and then just move things around with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that does a trick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Jigs are a big part of woodworking. That's great. And it looks like on the other side you've got your router. Let's have a look at that. So this is Arnim's router table, and he has it sort of inset into the table. How does this work for you?
Well, fantastic. First of all, it doesn't take extra space. Yeah. At the same time, you do have a big table to work with the router as well, and I can just like lower it and then I have the whole table. No, it's very practical. It's not in your way, and actually it helps you out.
Yeah. Yeah. What are these little round things you got on top here?
Well, of course, as you know, like dust is always an issue. So like I have this extraction you can buy for a lot of money, all these different things. Just with these things, I can just very easily adjust exactly where my dust extraction should be. So from an old speaker or whatever, I put these things just around, it holds in place, and I can do whatever, and it sucks up all the dust.
Okay. I have to tell you, I'm pretty envious of this jointer. Was this a 12-inch?
It's a 12-inch, yes.
Wow.
But of course, although it's big, it's really small. Like, you know, 12 is never enough.
Yeah.
But yes, I love it. It does its job. And there's tricks to use it. So I have, even if I have wider pieces, I still can use it on this one.
Wow. Okay. That's this is amazing. I haven't seen that many 12-inch jointers. Even working in the trade, you don't see them that often. And I see you've got some extensions. I know for those of you who haven't had a chance to look at some older videos, Arnim is also a door maker as well as a wood artist. But I see for your doors you probably need extra extensions, so you've got a longer infeed and a longer outfeed.
That's exactly right. I mean, and when it comes down to precision, the most important thing is you have to have control. And it's so easy when you have something to lay on the wood and just slide it over instead of trying to like crazy hold it on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't become straight. So it's very simple to do. And I just did it by myself. Some simple hinges. I can take it off if I want to.
Okay.
And it made all the difference.
Yeah. So it's safer and gives you better quality cuts, I guess, is the bottom line.
Simple as that. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I need to use much less force.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's healthy for me too.
Now I'm curious, is this a spiral head cutter or is this?
Yes, it is. I'm not sure the camera can see it.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
We'll let you have a close look up at this. So this is a spiral cutter, and I don't see. Oh, I do see the blades there. Show us what each one of those blades there.
Yeah, this is a really, really nice way to do it because what it does, it allows you to change every single blade. You know the problem if you have like a little piece of metal or whatever, it just ruins the blade.
Yeah.
Well, if it does in this case, I can just turn one single one around. That's all I have to do and have a perfectly sharp head again. So this is very, very advantageous, works really well. And of course, spiral has many advantages, as you know.
I see that you're a big fan of having extended infeed and outfeed. Mind you, I know you're working with doors and large pieces of wood quite a bit, but I see that you use this quite a bit.
Actually, to be honest, you don't even need big pieces. If it's just a little bit bigger than just like this,
yeah.
It already makes sense.
Yeah.
It's so easy to hold things. Look just how nicely it slides from side to side. I can make the nicest veneers. I can cut whatever I want to do. I can do curves or whatever. It just makes such a nicer cut. It's so simple to use.
That's interesting. So this looks like now you've sort of got, I see you've got some, looks like sandpaper glued on here. So this now is actually like a sliding, like a sliding fence.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, like a
sliding table saw almost.
When I cut a piece, I can just hold it by my fingers very safely. Just hold it here and go on, and I make a perfect cut.
That's a really good idea. Well, that's a really nice dust collector. That's a two-part. So all your dust collects down at the bottom of this one here in that brown barrel at the bottom?
That's right. All the bigger dust and of course the very fine dust collects over here. This one is the one you clean like regularly.
Yeah.
This you clean like very seldomly. It's just additional one. But no, I really, really like it. And of course dust collection is one of the most important things. It really helps with your health, the working environment. I'm very glad I got this.
Yeah, that's a pretty deluxe air or dust collector. How often do you have to clean that? I guess obviously it varies how much wood you're doing, but when you're in sort of a full production, do you have to empty that like daily or a couple days?
Like in my case, it's about once a month.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's.
No, it's not that often, but I have another one too, and I don't have a big production. Like what I do is more like fine end things, so I don't make big productions.
Okay, all right. So I see you've got this. I guess that's aluminum pipe coming. And then it branches off all over the shop. So you started off. This looks like 8-inch.
That's 8-inch. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it branches off. Then it goes down to I see it goes 8 and then 6 and 4 and so on. Just whatever the tool requires.
That's exactly right. And that's the reason you need something pretty big. So in your workshop, you have enough power for all the different tools you need.
So you've got gates then at different points that you have to open and close so that you keep the.
That's right, but that's not
the
exactly.
section
That's not a big issue. That works very
well. This looks like it's your major workbench here, and you've got all sorts of different panels going on here. We've already looked at your leaves down there. What's going on down here?
Well, there was a customer here like a couple of days ago who was just showing some samples of different things I do. So you can see, for example, like carved like feathers, just like pens to write on.
Yeah.
I was just trying different concepts, so just showing how to do them.
Yeah.
Or here was just experimenting, showing how I can make something interesting of a piece of wood. So just doing that.
Oh, that's an interesting piece of wood. Did you carve that?
Yeah, the idea is just like I was trying at this little piece of wood that I thought, what can I do with it that will make it interesting? So yes, I carved all these different holes in it and started carving around. It is of course just a prototype.
Now it looks like, is that glued or is that?
No, that's still, it was cut the right time of the year, so like it's still on.
Yeah.
And of course you have all the different wood still on here.
Yeah.
Or you can see like if you just have like let's call it a cleaner piece of wood, you still can make something like really interesting that just shows you what you can do when you just take a normal piece of wood.
All the ripples on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, lots of work of course. So as we talked about before as well, like we also have the feathers here. Like let's have a closer look at the feathers.
Yeah.
So you can see
look
kind
at
of
that. That grain just makes it look just like a feather too.
That's right, yes. So like here's just another sample of that.
Yeah.
And here you can see some other things I've done. I'll just quickly show you here. We have, for example, these are like little prototypes I make for my customers. You can see kind of trying to show how a carved forest would look like.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's just something so they can hold it in their hands and tell me if they like it or not.
Wow.
Or here you can see I've done this. This is actually done with copper inserts. So you can see here I'm using advantage of combining two things, like the grain of the wood, and then just like carving in like these things to just put the copper in there.
Yeah. Wow. So that's copper inlaid into that.
That's right.
And
Exactly.
that looks like an ocean scene with the fish down there. Is that what
That's
that?
right.
Yeah.
Of course, the design is very primitive.
Yeah.
It's just to show
Yeah,
the
yeah.
concept how it can be done.
Wow.
This you will see what the heck is that? Well, maybe I don't even know how to answer the question, but the idea is to basically just show abstractly, in this case could be a city from the top, of course using all the little pieces of wood that I still had left over,
Yeah.
so use them
Yeah.
for that.
Huh.
And more.
Now what's this piece?
Well, as you can see, like I just using all these little pieces of spalted wood that I had left over.
Yeah.
What can I do with that? So I just wanted to just create something which is quite abstract, combining with like yellow cedar, red cedar, and this spalted maple, just to create a piece of art. And that's exactly what you have over here.
Wow.
Something to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
And I really like the way it turned out. It just combines the wood in an interesting way, and it's deeply three-dimensional, as you can see. Like things are just like it's not flat. It has all types of
Yeah,
dimensions.
it's got
to it.
some dimension to
That's
it, and all these little pieces. You know, there's a little picture in each one of these little pieces of spalted maple.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and here you can see the same thing again, talking about like all these little pieces of wood that are left over, just making cutting boards. But the idea is also with the cutting boards, making it in such a way that they become interesting, not just a normal piece of wood, but you see the shape here is a bit more
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Or you can see like here's another sample, like very different, how I use like the end grain of the wood
Yeah.
to make a cutting board.
Yeah.
Or you can see here like little pieces. Of course, they're a lot of work. you
Yeah.
know, it's-
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. A lot of
simple.
wood to glue together, and
But you can
Uh,
see
this
the
is nice
beautiful
with the
things you can
diagonal.
do. Exactly, yeah. Just like the things you can create with that.
Yeah.
Or here with maple, again, you can see, anyhow, many examples.
I
of,
love that texture on there.
isn't that great?
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
yeah.
it as well. So,
Well, that concludes my video today. I want to thank you, Arnim, for
thanks, buddy.
for the shop tour and showing us some of the things that you're working on. It's always interesting for me to come here. It's a big thrill to see what Arnim's working on and the latest parts of his creativity and how they're taking shape. I'm Colin Cadet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.